Hi, this is Pumpkin Creek Primitives. I'm Bobby. This is Flosstube number 63, and it is November 7th, 2021. This is a channel about cross stitch, my website, and always a fur baby or two. So I hope you enjoy. Hello. Oh, this is late. I'm doing this late. I couldn't get it together today to film. I'll be honest. I just didn't want to. I don't know why. I enjoy filming. Enjoy talking to you guys. I just didn't. I don't know. Got my hair done, but of course it's just up, so you can't really tell. I've had a very lazy weekend. Just not feeling good. I'm not sick. I don't know. I just think I'm tired. I just think I'm tired, wore out, burnout, whatever. I got very little stitching done. So I hate that, but I did very little. Most of it was done while I was getting my oil change yesterday morning. Because what happened instead, see, this is out, like, I can multitask the crap out of work, right? When I'm at work, I multitask. I'm working on like 5 things at one time. No big deal. Hobbies, I can multitask like the same hobby. So like, that's why I have 50 some whips and it doesn't bother me. Hell, it's probably 60 by now. It doesn't bother me and I don't get stressed out that I have that many whips. But what I can't do is I can't focus on more than one hobby at one time. So I get hyper focused on one, which is why I was quilting forever. Not forever, but that was like all I was doing, super focused, like totally left card making, focused all on quilting, and then discovered cross stitch, and then quilting just went by the wayside and hadn't picked it up since, and I've just been solely cross stitching. Well, this weekend, something sneaked in on my cross stitching. I read a book. And ignore this, I can't own anything nice because I had this outside. I owned this book for less than an hour before dogs came up and put muddy nostrils all over it. I was trying to read it outside while I was watching them to try to be productive also. So yeah, so I read a book. I finished it. So I didn't get any cross stitch done because like I said, I was super focused on this and like couldn't put it down until I finished it. I mean, it was good, but I wouldn't say it was like so good I couldn't put it down until I finished it. I think that's just me. I hyper focus. So all the time I would have done today stitching and, I don't know, getting organized for this video that I should have filmed earlier today, was spent on the couch under a blanket reading a book. It's fine. It's fine. This isn't, I don't have deadlines. This isn't like, I have to remind myself, this is fun. This is for a hobby. This is not my job, right? So I got to cut myself some slack. But what led me to this was because I went back in Books A Million after getting my oil changed and said, hey, I need some like haunted house stories, ghost stories, whatever, short story books. And not the gothic ones that are, oh, you can't see them. They're out of shot. They're over there. Not those gothic ones, because let's face it, the wording was weird. It's hard to follow. you know, they're fun and they look beautiful on a shelf. Not that easy to read. And so the guy was like, well, we don't really have anything like that. Like, we have some stuff in the local area, which I did buy like 3 or 4 local spooky, like Southern Spooky and Nashville Haunted and some stuff like that. But he said mostly what we have is there. And he's like, oh, but wait. Because I was standing at the horror section. I'm like, I know it doesn't belong in here, per se. It's like where Stephen King and all this stuff is. I was like, but I don't know where else to look. And he was like, no, he's like, but I'll tell you what just came in. And he pulls out this. Small Horrors. So, by Darcy Coates. And so, then all her other books are there. So I started, you know, flipping through the backs of them. And I think I bought like 6 or so. And here's the funny part. So I'm like, oh my God, I've never heard of her. And he's like, yeah, she's like all the rage right now. I'm like, oh, that's... And he's like, I hadn't heard of her until we got her like a year ago. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. Y'all, I've listened to 2 of her audiobooks. Thankfully, they're not any that I bought. I listened to, it's called Shadow House, and there's 2 books to it. And all the ones that I bought, beside, this is the only one that's non-haunted house one. The other ones are like, each one has like a, you know, such and such manor, or such and such, you know, it's all house names. So, but I did enjoy this. It was a fast read. I mean, they're like the bigger words. Not like back in the day when you would get like a 3-inch thick Stephen King book that where everything was like microscript and you could see through the pages to the other side. Yeah. So it's nice. So I do have, I'm going to read a little small story out of here today. Maybe that'll make this video just a little bit longer. We do have a giveaway. So let's start there, because that's also why I filmed. Otherwise I'd have been like, yeah, you know what? I just didn't want to, but I had a giveaway. I've been promising. So I wanted to get that done. And then I got to pack orders after this. Well, hopefully the dogs are quiet. Okay, I'm about to say something, and I hate saying it, but I know you guys will understand. I may have to make my Flosstube every other week, because I have to admit, the weekends that Chad works and I have the dogs, it is so hard. It's hard to get anything done. It was a lot. It was even hard just to sit on the couch while they're in their kennel and read a book. Like, because they'll only stay in there like, I know that sounds crazy to some people. It's like, because they only stay in there like an hour at a time. You guys, they can't just hang out in the living room with me. They don't understand. They're still too young. They're too puppy. They're too high energy. There's no such thing as laying down. Like, they lay down when they go to sleep. That's it. They would be jumping off the couch. They'll be trying to chase the cats around. Lucian still thinks he can halfway fit in the little hole in the pet gate. He can still kind of fit through there. So like, I have to watch him around those, because he also gets stuck. And it's like, you can't, if they were out in the living room, I would just have to stand and watch them. And that's what we get for getting high energy dogs. It is what it is. When Lucian gets a little bit older, I think it'll get better, because Jasper's super excited. Because Jasper's actually calmed down since we got Lucian. But they're a lot. They are a lot. Love them, love the breed, but they're a lot. So I may have to start doing these every 2 weeks, or maybe just during this holiday season, and maybe the first of the year do something different. Maybe go back to weekly. But right now it's just like, I even look freaking tired. And I went to bed last night at 8 o'clock. And we woke up at 6:30. Now, we also woke up at 2:15 because Lucian had to pee, and then we woke up at 3:15 because then Jasper had to pee. Because Jasper wouldn't go outside when Lucian went outside. He was all up underneath the covers. He's like, And I was like, well, he's fine. He can hold it. He'll be fine until we get up in the morning. He started whimpering around 3:15. I was like, oh my God. I've already tried to give him away today. It's been... Sorry, I'm not trying to project my anxiety and stress on you guys. It's been a lot. They're a lot. I love them, but they're a lot. Trying to get pictures of them. One of them would mess up every photo. I was trying to get them together. That was a lot. All right. Yeah, I don't care. Let's move on. My DMC. And this is the chart. It has the colors. Doesn't have the floss, but has the colors. And, yeah. So, the code word for that one was DMC. And you had to comment on episode 60. Oh, I did. Oh. There was 23 comments. No. So hit start. Who we got? Crystal Rowe! She's the mayor's wife. So let me write that down, Crystal. Not that I'm not going to forget your name, but I may forget which one you won. And we don't want that. So, Crystal, just email me. Bobby@pumpkincreekprimrose.com. It's down below. And give me your address and stuff. All right. So the next one was fall. And it's this October's party. And gotta go back over here. Oh no. Don't go away. Click here. Change the DMC to fall. I don't know if it matters. Fall. Get your comments. 26 comments of fall. So let's hit start. Boom. Karen. Why is it? Okay. I only use DMC. Fall Halloween colors on the scary ghost. So cute. Is that Enos? Enos? All right, Karen. Just email me below. I'm terrible with names. I mean, I'm terrible with other words. Let's just forget. That's not just names. I'm just terrible. Period. All right. Oops. Picked up an extra pattern in there. Quaker Ghost. Now, it does not have the buttons, remember. I think I've said that like 115 times. So, and this was mine. So, it is used, but you wouldn't know it. So, we got to go back up here and change Ghost. Oh, it's already dark out. This is so sad. It's 5 o'clock. And so the dogs are going to throw a fit because they're going to think I put them to bed early. And they're going to be like, I don't want to be in here. I don't understand. Amount of comments, 23. And I don't know why I said that so loud. I'm sorry. Jenny Kennedy. Oh, and she just started. She's new to cross stitching, and she just started to binge some of mine because the bougie stitchers mentioned me. So, Jenny Kennedy. All right. So, Jenny Kennedy. Hopefully you're still binging. Hopefully you're watching newer. My email is below in the descriptions, and just give me a shout with your address and I'll get these all mailed out to you. All right. So we got that handled. Stick them back there. I showed y'all my book. Now I got haul. And some of my books was haul too. But, all right. And this is, I'm not taking this out of the package just because. Just because their tags aren't attached. So this is, did I not save the sheet with it? I didn't. And they don't, it says R&B. I can't remember. It's the duos, but I don't remember who the duo was. Okay, well here's the fabric. This is Fortnite fabric, and I get mine in 18 count. Dang it. Hate that. And then here's their, it's the Shades of Grey Club, and it says, we aim to please. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's 18 count. I know I normally take those out of the packages. I'm just tired, guys. I'm tired. So this video is probably gonna suck. I mean, not like my other ones are fabulous, but you know what I mean. So apparently in July, I ordered some Be Stitch Me fabric. I mean, I will take these out because she's got her label attached, so I don't need the bag. Sorry for the noise for those headphone users. yeah, so I totally didn't know. This is 20 count Ada, and this is Honey. That's a really pretty yellowy, neutrally brownish color. Yeah, I totally didn't remember. And this one is, okay, so this is the reason, this one right here is Stonehenge. And it is the reason that I got in the neutral club. Because originally I was just in the colorful club. Because I just assumed that all the neutrals were going to be like this. And I don't need a ton of that. And so then she did, this one's 18 count. Then she did Stonehenge. And I was like, what? That's a neutral? I love it. Love it. So when she did that, looks like the moon. I was like, oh, now I understand. Okay, yeah, sign me up for the neutral. So that's how I got signed up for the neutral club. And then I had to go in and buy this color. So these other two I got, I think, were previous neutral releases, if I were to guess. This is a 20 count. It's called Oat. And it's not showing up great, but it is a, I don't even know how to describe that color. It's like a putty color. And then I got Toast, which looks like what you think toast would look like. Or at least the way I like toast, because if my toast is too dark, I won't eat it. I'm always like, that's burnt. Chad's like, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, it is. This is 18 count Toast. It's gorgeous. Look at this. I may have to buy some more of that. That is gorgeous. So yeah. And then I said it's 18. Yeah, this is 18 count, but that is beautiful. Okay. So the next thing that I got, I go to my, so I pulled up so you could see. So apparently this is another pre-order because I've canceled all my Fat Quarter Shop fabric, fat quarter things that were coming in. But I obviously still had some of these like on pre-order that I ordered 6 months ago. So this finally came in, and this one's called Midnight Magic 2. These are half yard bundles. And so the colors in that are those. Look at that kitty cat. And this one right here in all the shades I am in love with. Come on. That, I mean, look at both of those. I mean, that, I'm just saying. Yeah, that's it. So, I just have fabric everywhere. I just don't even know what to do anymore. I need to stop. I mean, that, like I said, that was pre-ordered probably 6 months to 9 months ago. So, okay. So I'm getting my last few bag of the months. This is Stitch Toolbox. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, don't look. Turn away. How freaking gorgeous is this? Oh, I love this. And she reached out to me and was like making sure and seeing if I wanted this one. Or I wanted the Christmas one because I think I already had this one. And I am getting the Christmas box from her. And that's the pattern from Twin Peak Primitives. There's the inside. Oh, this is so pretty. And I'm sorry that the cats aren't hanging out, but it's because I think I'm filming later. And I just don't know what to do. And then we got some tea. Can't get that in. And then we got some floss drops and some cards that you put on your project to say who stitched by and everything. So that's sweet. This bag is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And then I got my Linux Stitch one. And let me pull these out. It's a Christmas themed one. With all the goodies on it. Super cute. And then I think I have a March one of hers. And then I'm going to have to, because hers are quarterly. I feel like they come faster than that though, don't you? Okay, and so what we got a pattern. Here, let me fold this. It's a little gnome with a gingerbread house. So cute. That way y'all couldn't see the. And then we got a candy stick. And then, okay, so this one says counting pins. So this is exactly what I had in Brandy's thing, and I thought it was a counting pin, and I was correct. Dun, 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 dun. I was right. These are so helpful when counting over. I do it with 2 needles. Not very good. But yeah, ooh, what is this? Black tea, chocolate toffee. Ooh, that'll be good to try. And then Rebel Stitcher has got her needle minder in here. And how stinking cute is that? Gingerbread man sitting in his hot chocolate. Hot cocoa. Whatever. Love it. I'll put that aside. I don't want to wait to get head in. All right. So now that was all of my haul. So we're only 20 minutes in, guys. So the only thing I worked on was cryptids. And I'm not even 100% totally. Oh. I didn't mark yesterday because when I worked on it, I was at the, and she has the November's off a day on these cards. So it threw me for a loop for a second. So I put the day of the week I worked on it, I think, not the, I don't know what I did. It don't matter. So I still have some stuff in the frame for Frogman to do. And also stuff, I got one of his, like, I got 1 stitch in his mouth, like his lower mouth area. And then I got a couple stitches to put up in the Hopkins Goblin because I was waiting till I got to those colors in the frog. I should have just finished him. This is ridiculous. So, let me hold this up. Let me get my needle minder off of there. Except for, that's a free needle. Where'd the other one go? I have a loose needle. Uh-oh. Oh no, it's on there. It's on there. All right, let me try this again. Hold that up. That'll probably be my, let me hold it right there so I can get the title across there. So, yeah. So I have 1 stitch in his lower mouth area. So I've got, it's like, I guess it's like the part of his throat, like a bullfrog. And then I've got a couple colors to put in this side. So, and then there's a skull that goes here. And then the next one that was released is a Jackalope. So I'm gonna work on him this week during lunch. Keep saying that, but I kind of failed at that too. I only worked on him for 1 day. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not necessarily like losing my stitchy bug. I think I'm just, you know what I'm doing. I think I'm just tired. And like, I just, and that tiredness rolls over to just like not feeling like doing nothing during my lunch, but just watching whatever I'm watching and eating versus pulling out. But that's going to be the Jackalope. So cute. So But yeah, I mean, I should be able to get that done in a week until the next one's released. It's just like, it's just constant, which is fine. I mean, but I feel like I've never been 100% caught up. I've always been semi caught up. So, but since we went over these cryptids, it is now time to do cryptids. So, which was so funny that Ohio, Loveland, Frogman, and that happened to be what I was working on, which was perfect. So this week is North Dakota, and it's Thunderbird. And it says here, the Thunderbird, a possible relative to New Mexico's Territorn, is another large bird-like animal. Some tales say enormous eagles. Say they are. I think there's an R missing. Say they are enormous eagles that were strong enough to carry whales back to their nest. Other descriptions said this animal was so large and powerful that when they flapped their wings, thunder was created. Lightning flashes out of their eyes and water falling off their backs, creating rain. There were many interesting legends of this bird fighting an enormous killer whale, and as they fought, lands were decimated. They were seen as dangerous and powerful beings, but also as benevolent nature spirits, and will help tribes in their search for food during times of famine. That's pretty cool. And there's the dossier. Location, North Dakota, Thunderbird. Location, North Dakota. Appearance, a white ring around their necks, 4.5 foot tall, and a 6-inch hook bill. 3 front claws, 1 back claw, large black body, wingspan of 12 feet. Wow. That's pretty big. So North Carolina is next on the rotation. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get started on the Jackalope and maybe I'll have him finished. Chad's off next weekend, but he has to go install cabinets that he made on Saturday. And then he still has church that he does for half a day on Sunday morning for traffic and stuff. So it's like, I mean, he ain't gonna be here. So we'll see what next week brings. I'm getting really tired of single mom life. Yeah, I could do single mom life with the cats all day long. They are zero trouble. Not that Jasper and Lucian are trouble. They're a lot and they require way more effort. And this is why I didn't have children, because I didn't want to have to entertain something. And that is exactly what I'm having to do with them constantly. All right. So we're only 26 minutes in. Maybe we'll do a little, what I picked out last week. Little understand wrap. This is like the shortest thing ever. Sorry, guys. Didn't get anything added into the website, even though I have some patterns, but okay. Can't wear skinny jeans because my knots don't fit. Lyrics from song Swagger Like Us on album Paper Trail by artist T.I. He from Georgia. I am unable to wear tight-fitting denim bottoms that are currently fashionable among some groups of people. So instead, I wear arguably more fashionable and definitely more loose-fitting Rockaware brand trousers because the items contained within require the extra room they provide. I like how delicately they put that. God. Lucian's crying. He's just got to wait. I gotta pack orders. He's fine. He just doesn't want to be in his kennel. And he's just gonna have to learn. He's fine. I sound so... When I'm tired, I'm not nice. So, I was gonna read the first story out of this, but... I guess it's not too long. We'll see how long it takes me to read this. All right. So this is Small Horror. Darcy Coates. Okay, number 1, the dog's grave digger. Rick swerved a fraction of a second too late. His car's tires screamed, leaving black tracks on the asphalt. Then there was a muffled thump. Rick felt a jolt move through his body, and the car rocked to a halt. By the way, if you're new, this is what I used to call Hot Mess Express story time, which is still that. I just haven't done it in forever, and normally this is the part where I just read a story, you just listen and work on whatever you're working on. And if you're not interested, then you can go ahead and leave. I won't take it personally. Not everybody wants to be read to. But I have a lot of people that are asking me to bring story time back. So that is what I shall do. Sorry, I interrupted the story. For a moment, Rick didn't dare do anything except breathe. Then he swore loudly, threw open the door. His car's high beams sliced through the night's darkness, leaving trails of pale gold on the road. The markings from his tires spread out in a lazy loop, starting where he'd first seen the dog and ending 3 feet too late. Rick knelt beside his car and looked over the results of his accident. The lumpy I don't know if I want to read this. The lumpy, bloody clump of fur was definitely dead and barely recognizable as a dog. The impact must have killed it instantly. Thank goodness for small blessings. Rick grimaced and felt around its neck, but it didn't have a collar. A stray then? It does look thin. Something about its nose, though, made him think it was a purebred. It might have been a stray when he'd hit it. He suspected it was because there weren't any houses for a 20-minute drive in each direction, but it had probably been someone's pet at one time. Why would somebody's nose? What does that mean? Rick swore again and pulled off his jacket. He'd lost a dog of his own when he was a child. The driver hadn't even stopped. The inhumanity that cut him deeply, and even 20 years later, he couldn't imagine leaving the animal on the side of the road. If it had belonged to a child, that child would want his pet treated respectfully. The body mostly hung together, though one of the legs was only attached by a strip of flesh and a few muscles. Rick shrugged off his jacket, good thing I'm wearing the cheap one tonight, and wrapped it around the dog, then carefully lifted the bundle into the passenger seat. He returned to the driver's seat and hesitated as he tried to decide what to do with the animal. He could take it to the vet and hope they disposed of it kindly, or he could take it home and bury it in his backyard, or... Rick put the car into gear, a smile growing across his face as he remembered what he had stored in the trunk. He'd bought a full set of gardening equipment the week before and hadn't gotten around to moving it out of his car. Not what I thought was in his car. In amongst the shears, spades, and gloves was a shovel, and surrounding him was a forest. Yes, a burial in the woods where his body will nurture the trees. It's the best thing to do. Rick drove until he found a gap in the trees wide enough for him to maneuver the car into. He drove past it, then reversed so that the back of the car would be facing the woods. He was able to get the car about 20 paces into the forest before it became too thick for him to continue. It wasn't quite far enough to disguise his car if a wayward driver happened to look in his direction, but at least it was more private than leaving his vehicle on the road. He hoped no one would see him. Goodness knows what a passerby might think if he saw a lone man digging a hole in the woods at midnight. Rick turned off the car, smothering the headlights. The moon was full and bright, and the trees were sparse enough to let plenty of natural illumination through. The falling pine needles crunched under his feet as he rounded his car and opened the boot. She is obviously not from here. That would be the trunk. Inside were the tools laying on a tarpaulin. Okay, it's a tarp. He took the shovel, walked 10 paces to a clear patch of ground, and started digging. The dirt was tightly packed, but not as bad as he'd been expecting. Even so, it was exhausting work, and he started sweating before the hole was deeper than his arm. It's got to be deep enough, he thought, so the wild animals can't smell it and dig it out. The air was frosty, and his breath plumed in front of his face every time he exhaled. He knew his fingers would have become numb if the exercise hadn't been pumping blood through him so quickly. A car came down the road, and Rick froze. The vehicle was traveling quickly, though, and past Rick's hiding place without slowing down. The rural road was rarely traveled even during the day. Rick hadn't passed any cars during the last 10 minutes of his drive, so he didn't expect to be disturbed again. He dug until the sweat stained the underarms and back of his t-shirt and stuck his dark hair in his forehead. He made a good hole, a little larger than the dog would need and deep enough that bones wouldn't come up for a long time. Everyone deserves peace. Panting, his limbs trembling from the exertion, Rick climbed out of the hole, turned back to the car. Instead of going to the jacket wrap bundle in the passenger seat, he went to the trunk and pushed the tools off the tarp. Then he grabbed the corner of the blue material and pulled it out of the trunk. Strained against the weight, dead weight, he chuckled to himself as he hauled his baggage towards the hole. She'd go in with the tarp, of course, a little extra insurance to protect her from being dug up. The tarp couldn't be traced back to him. He'd bought it in 2 states away at the same time as the tools. A complete set to ensure there was no suspicion, and paid with cash. As far as anyone knew, the last time he'd seen his wife was that morning when she'd kissed him on the cheek and left for work. Her car would be found abandoned at the train station the following day. Rick gave the bundle a final shove and watched it tumble into the hole. Then he returned to the passenger seat of the car and drew the dog out with significantly more care. The dog had never cheated on him. The dog had never lied to him. In all likelihood, the dog had never even had a malicious thought. He knelt on the edge of the grave and laid the animal's body on top of his wife's. Then he set to pouring the mound of dirt over the pair of them. We all need rest. Holy moly. It's a nice little short story, but I obviously had my suspicions. Didn't know they were going to be true, but I had my suspicions. That dog is wearing me out. He's just, I don't know if y'all can hear him. And it just stresses me out because I feel like I hate him. I'm sure it's how mothers are with newborns. Like, you hate hearing your baby cry, but you know that they have to learn to self-soothe a little bit. But he's being ridiculous. Okay, so this is like a short 35 minutes. Holy cow. The only other thing that I think I was going to say was I was listening to a podcast. It's called the Fallon. I love it. And she was interviewing the guy who kind of started the Doe Network. And then he ended up working on NamUs. And so both of those are for missing people. It's male and female missing unidentified people. And so I went poking around the Doe Network just to see what was on there. And there was actually a body found in 1975, 9 minutes from me. It's about a mile off the interstate. It was a African-American female, and they believe she actually probably was killed around autumn 1974, but she was found February 14th, 1975 by 2 hunters. It is rural out here, and they also found some puppy bones near her, so they thought maybe she was walking her dog. But let's be honest, if anybody's walking their dog out in the middle of the country, then I would imagine they live nearby, and somebody would have had to miss her. And then of course I thought, well, there's a truck stop. I don't know how long the truck stop has been there, if it was there in the 70s, but since it's about a mile, I thought, well, maybe she could have been a sex worker. But the way she was dressed, and this is all just assumptions, really. She had on blue floral slacks and a red shell blouse and Italian leather wedge shoes. And I feel like that to me doesn't sound like sex workers that work in truck stops. I don't feel like that would be an easy outfit for them to climb in and out of trucks and do their job. Unless they were just providing some services that didn't involve full-on, vaginal sex. But just saying, so I thought, well, I don't know, that just doesn't sound, sorry, I think skirts. I mean, I'm just saying, if that was my job, I'm going to make it the easiest way to get in, get out, be done, get my money. So the walking the dog, and then so she had an old rib fracture that was healed. So that kind of means that, I don't know, that's not normally a very good fracture to have. Normally, I mean, it could come from an auto accident, and she also had, that was a healed one, but she had a fresh pelvic fracture and a fractured arm. So there was suspicion that she was either in an auto accident or she was ran over by a car. I feel like if you're in an auto accident, where's your car? They don't mention anything about a car being there, nothing like that. So I thought, well, maybe she was walking her dog and got hit by a car and the people like freaked out and just left her there. But again, if you're walking your dog out there, I would feel like somebody would know you were missing and be looking for you. The other problem we have, it's 1 mile off the interstate. She could have come from anywhere and she just got dumped, which is terrible. But I have been, and I don't think I looked her up on my phone. Just kidding, I did. I've just been thinking about her a lot. So this is just the sketches, and then this is her pants. Sorry, my background went weird trying to focus in on this, but I just, I don't know, I've just been thinking about her. And I think it sucks. And she was skeletal. But, I mean, they have her estimated between 15 and 25 years old. So, yeah. I mean, she still had on bra and underpants. So, doesn't necessarily mean she wasn't sexually assaulted, but it doesn't look like it's that situation. So, but I'll just leave y'all with that. Should always go check out those Name Us and the Doe Network and just see if there's, you know, especially if you are missing somebody or know of somebody who's missing somebody, you can always look on there and see. They have them listed. You can do it by chronological order. You can do it by state, and you can look at just females or just males, or you can look at them combined. So, but it was a very good podcast. It's called The Fallon, and it was a great interview with the guy. I think it's season 9 on there. It's one of those. She also talks to one of the people that work with the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls and two spirits. So that was also a very good podcast. It was the next episode. So I will leave you to it because the dog, I'm sure y'all can hear him. He sounds like he's dying, even though he's not. He's a full brat. That's what happens. 5 months old, gets what he wants. Can you tell I've had enough of them today? I was yelling at Skeeter earlier and I was like, Mama needs a spa day. I need to get rid of all of you guys. I need a break. And I'm not going to get one anytime soon. So hope you guys have a wonderful stitchy week and I will see you next week. Bye.